For the exam, you also need to know how intellectual property works. You don't need very much in-depth knowledge here, you just need the basics, what the differences are between the different types, and the common attacks on them. Starting out with the most common one is copyright. A copyright is automatically granted whenever you create something. This can be books, art, music, software, or many other things. You don't have to apply for it, it's just there. For individual, the copyright is granted for 70 years, and for corporations, it's granted for 95 years. Some years ago it used to be lower, but there was a massive lobbying effort from Disney just before Mickey Mouse hit the public domain to get it extended. So both the individual and the corporation was extended by 20 years. As the copyright owner, you own the material until it's released into public domain, which happens 7 years after your death. You can sell it, you can share it, you can do with it what you want. You created it, it's yours. The only thing we need to note is the exception of first sale and fair use. If I buy a copy from you, I'm allowed to sell it. I'm the original owner, I can sell it once. And fair use. Since I bought it from you, I'm allowed to use it within certain criteria. Trademarks and registered trademarks, on the other hand, are a little different. They have to be registered, and registration is good for 10 years, and it can technically be renewed forever. Trademarks will apply to brands, logos, slogans. You can even trademark colors, and if the trademark lapses, anyone can use it. If your product is an invention, then you would patent protect it. A normal patent lasts for 20 years from the point of application, which means for some products that have a long life cycle before they hit the market, that the effective time of the patent might be much shorter. It's normal for a new drug to be patent protected, but for the clinical trials to take years and years. So by the time the new drug hits the market, it might only have 10 or 12 years left. An important thing to note for IT security professionals is that cryptographic algorithms can be patent protected. For a patent to be granted other than applying for it, the idea has to be novel, meaning it's a new idea, no one has thought of it before. It has to be useful, meaning it's actually possible to do, and it's useful to someone. And then it has to be non-obvious, meaning there has to have been an actual invention or discovery process where it was thought out. Finally, we have trade secrets. They're not really protected in a legal way. The only protection they have is you preventing people from finding out. If someone does discover it, they're allowed to use it, you have no legal protection in place. And then obviously every type of intellectual property has different attacks against it. The most common attack on intellectual property is software piracy. But almost just as common is downloading pirated copies of music, TV shows, or movies. They own the material. The people who download it doesn't have permission, it's considered stealing. Whereas attack on copyright is acquiring an illegal copy of the work. The attack of trademarks take a little different approach. The most common attack here is counterfeiting. Someone produces a product that pretends to be the real brand. Fake Rolex, Prada, Nike, Apple products. They can either use the real name or a slightly misspelled one, which is less illegal, but still illegal. For patent infringements, it's most often someone using your patent without permission or pay, and they may do that knowing or unknowing. These often end up in long court battles. As we talked about for the trade secrets, there is really no legal protection. The only protection you have is how well you are at keeping secrets. This is where a lot of industrial espionage lands. The attacker might obtain the trade secret illegally, but if they get it, we don't really have any protection against anyone using it. And last in this section, we should look at a couple of concepts in regards to buying URLs online. Cybersquatting is when you buy a URL that you think someone else might like or might need later, and then sell it back to them for huge profits. This is legal. How you gain the information about the organization and what they want to use the URLs for may not be. Typosquatting, on the other hand, is slightly different. It's buying a URL that's very close to the real website, and depending on what you do with it, it can be either legal or illegal. If you just buy the website, use it for whatever you want, and don't pretend to be the real website, it's okay. You'll get a couple of thousand visitors a month, and nothing can really be done about it. If you, on the other hand, is pretending to be the real website, that's illegal. So if I buy Google.com, and I pretend to be Google, and send people to my paid links, that will be a problem. But many smart larger businesses actually buy all the domain names around their name, buy the misspellings, and just redirect it to the real name.